Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Infra Limited Q2FY25 earnings conference call hosted by Go India Advisors. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing the star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Paridhi Dekani from Go India Advisors. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Steve. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Infra Limited earnings call to discuss the Q2 and H1 FY25 results. We have on the call with us today Mr. Vikas Kothari, MD and CEO, and Mr. S.K. Jain, CFO. We must remind you that the discussion on today is a risk that the company faces. I now request Mr. S.K. Jain to take us through the company's business outlook and subsequent to which we'll open the floor for Q&A. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the conference call of shareholders and analysts meet at conference call on Q2 of the company's financials, which concluded on 7th of November. And we clocked a turnover of 230 crore on standalone basis with an PBT of 13 crore rupees. Besides, as compared to June results of 164 crore with a profit of 12 crore rupees. We have distributed a dividend of 50 paise per share, and it must have been reached all the accounts by 20th of October in every account of the shareholder. The recent award of Kwar Hydro project for 410 crore rupees, including taxes, has been secured from Chenab Power Project Limited, and that has been announced in BSE. And we are going to execute this project in next 3 and 3.5 years as per tender guidelines, which will give us additional revenue of 100 crore rupees per year, as presented to you all in our presentation. The presentation has been uploaded in the BSE website, which we must have read by this time now. Now I invite Vikas to say on company's outlook.
Thank you very much, Jayanta, and I welcome everyone on this investor call. As Mr. S.K. Jain already explained, we have been successful. As you all already know, that hydromechanical equipment is our core strength, and is literally a monopolistic business where we are the market leaders. And after a long gap, this has been a very significant win for us for our hydromechanical business itself. There's a 540 megawatt project in J&K. This also goes in favor of proving what we have been propagating, saying that the central government is quite keen on development of infrastructure in the bordering areas with on the west as well as the east parts of India and the northern parts of India, where development of hydropower is being used to enhance the infrastructure in the bordering area. So this is just the beginning. A lot of new projects coming up in the future. This is a good win and with very handsome margin in this project. Other than that, the company is expecting to monetize on the Jaipur and Kota assets, hopefully in the next 2-3 years, generating almost 300 to 400 crores in the company. The company also is awaiting court verdicts from various courts on arbitration awards, which could yield a good reward to the company in the next 2 to 3 years. In terms of operational updates for the first half of 2025, our order book as of September 24 stands at 2,140 crores, with strong presence across 18 plus states. The order book is diversified with hydro power generation and water segment, and also Jal Jeevan Mission, and also pump storage project, where we are doing our first project in Tamil Nadu. Notable progress has been achieved in our ongoing projects Shapurkandi in Punjab, which is a hydropower project, which is 267 crores. Then Amravati irrigation project in Maharashtra, 123 crores. Then Kawar project, of course, we have received, which is 347 crores. So the order inflow for the year is expected to be anywhere between 500 to 800 crores. And the bid pipeline is fairly strong, where we are in the process of bidding for almost 1,000 crores in new tenders. Our scope is also into river interlinking, water supply, irrigation, water treatment, and all these efforts that we are making will yield in positive results going forward. The company plans to bid in all of these sectors related to water. Moving on to financial highlights for Q2H1FY25. FY25 experienced a sluggish beginning due to extended state and central elections, then prolonged monsoons and prolonged heat waves, which kind of delayed budgetary allocations by the state government and also release of funds by the central government. This has a cascading effect on a lot of other things also, which includes decision making, because in many state undergoing elections, the decision making becomes very sluggish, and therefore results in a lot of these approvals taking prolonged time. So this has had an impact on our Q1, Q2 results. Our consolidated revenue for Q2 FY25 stands at 238 crores with an EBITDA of 17 crores and an EBITDA margin of 7.3%. PAT for the quarter stands at 4 crores with a PAT margin of 1.7%. It is largely resulting in this, resulting from the fact that some decisions which have not been taken, which should have been taken relating to time extension, which leads to retention, additional retention against the normal retention, which leads to such issues, including payment of escalation, including other issues like this. On a standalone level, revenue from Q2 FY25 touched 221 crores with an EBITDA of 16 crores and an EBITDA margin of 7.2%. And PAT for the quarter stands at 4 crores minus with a PAT margin of. This is largely driven by the deferred income tax, which SKN will explain in a short while. Moving on to half-yearly results, our consolidated revenues for H125 stand at 408 crores with an EBITDA of 35 crores with a margin of 8.5%. PAT for half-yearly ended stands at 16 crores with a PAT margin of 4%. On a standalone level, revenue for H1 FY25 reached 385 crores with an EBITDA of 35 crores, EBITDA margin of 9%, and half-yearly ended at 10 crores with a PAT margin of 2.6%. The cash in hand stands at 69 crores. Priority remains operational excellence and profitability, where we're strategically focusing on projects that align with our margin target of 10 to 12%. This quarter was an exceptional quarter because of, as I explained already, there's been a deferment, I would say, of the margins because of the retention amounts from the projects. Even though the revenues have been recognized, there have been additional retention on account of time extension and resulting in penalties being withheld, which will be released eventually once the time extension files are approved at the appropriate level in the government. This is quite a standard feature, but just because this became a little exceptional in this quarter because because of the revenue coming specifically from those projects which required these clearances at the earlier. So because the clearances have not come in this quarter, therefore this has resulted in such skewed numbers in terms of margins. But the projects are the same, margins are secured. As I keep saying in the past also, and I repeat it again, that project margins should be seen upon either on consolidated at annual level or on project completion basis. The margins are secured, but these quarter-on-quarter numbers are always skewed. So we should not get carried away by these quarter-on-quarter numbers. Now let's move to government's focus on infrastructure sectors and then the hydro infrastructure. Government's push on infrastructure is of course very well known, where infrastructure spending is 11% of the GDP. There is enormous focus on renewable sector. India is the world's third largest power producer with 429 gigawatts of installed capacity, including 182 gigawatts of renewables capacity. The Union Budget allocated 19,100 crores to MNRE, which is 143% increase from last year. Hydro projects were 3 lakh crore on the pipeline. They take a long time to reach the tendering stage, and therefore it is not predictable as to how many orders and how many projects can be added in a particular quarter. But the pipeline is very strong, and the focus by the central government especially is very strong in terms of development of hydropower. So with almost 12,500 crores worth of investment in hydropower and almost 31,000 megawatts of additional capacity which is being planned. Hydro capacity overall is expected to rise from 42,000 megawatts to 67,000 megawatts by 2031-32. Then pump storage projects also, there's a big focus by the pump storage for the pump storage project. We have added slides in our presentation, which is self-explanatory. India has an ambitious plan of increasing our pump storage capacity to 55,000 megawatts by 2032, and this is all under pipeline and is being implemented. Of course, the gestation period is long because by the time these projects come up for bidding, it will take a while, but certainly the pipeline is strong, and we'll see results in the future. Likewise, there's been a lot of announcements by Ministry of Jal Shakti where they have been allocated 98,000 crores in 24-25 under the Jal Jeevan Mission. Then there's a lot of focus by the government on all the other water-related projects as well, which is including river interlinking, irrigation, water supply. So water is actually a big focus area in central government. So future is bright, and I think the company is well placed to capture a major chunk of that bright future. I think I'll hand it over to Sijan, or maybe we can start Q&A.
Yes, sir. Should we begin the Q&A?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Tej from Niveshaay. Please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. I know you already touched upon this point, but I think your voice was a bit slow to me. I'm really sorry. If you could just repeat why our margins were low because of the retention. This is the main. I mean, there's a follow-up question on this on more broader side. Now we have always guided, for a double-digit margins even in the last 2 financial years, and much higher for the hydromechanical projects. But somehow, due to execution or some other reason, we haven't able to clock those margins. Especially if I see there's a sharp decline in gross margins post-COVID. And so what I understand is majority of the government projects has passed through in their contracts, right? So I'm not able to understand why our margins, especially the gross level, decreased from, let's say, 35-40%, which we were making pre-COVID, to around, 15-20%. So what is the reason for this decline in gross margins and specific reason for decline which you mentioned regarding retention? If you could repeat that. Thank you.
So one is, of course, the project margins are locked when the project is secured, because most projects we have escalation also. Sometimes the margins vary on quarter-on-quarter basis for exceptional. See, there's always a lag with which escalation is processed and paid. So quarter on quarter there is a lag because of that. And second thing is that I'll give you a short example. I mean, not specifically talking about one particular contract, but if the time extension, there are always delays in the project execution, and delays are most of the time not attributable to the company. And if the delay is not attributable to the company, the government has to give time extension, and the time extension is approved at the appropriate level by the appropriate authority, which in every project varies from state to state. So because of elections or because of other reasons, those time extension approvals keep getting delayed, and if they are delayed, the project executing authorities, they still take time, and they cannot go beyond the contract, so they deduct or they retain amounts, and since those amounts are retained, the cash flows get affected, and therefore has an impact on P&L. So therefore this particular quarter we had revenues coming from largely from two significant projects, which is Rajasthan and the other one is Punjab. And the same situation has happened in both these projects. Both these projects time extensions are pending at certain levels in the entire hierarchy of the government departments. And once these time extensions are approved, then we will get the release of the retention amount, and that will then correct the situation. So that is a broad answer to your question.
Okay, got it. But then on the gross margin, margins have declined compared to, let's say, pre-COVID. I mean, it's declined drastically at the gross level. So I'm just trying to understand what is the reason for it. I mean, because most of the, let's say, the retention was the issue of this quarter, right? But then if I look at the year's comparison, then margins at the gross level has, decreased drastically.
So the reason for one of the reasons for that is that earlier we were doing monopolistic works of hydromechanical equipment. Mechanical equipment is highly profitable, and major contribution of revenues was coming from hydromechanical execution itself. Now that is not the case. Now we are doing Jal Jeevan Mission projects also. Now we are doing irrigation projects also. Now we are doing turnkey civil and hydromechanical projects also. So therefore, the revenues are increasing, but the margins are of course not monopolistic margins as we used to enjoy in the pre-COVID times where we are only focused on hydromechanical. Hydromechanical is niche and therefore has limitation to how much we can grow. But going backward integration and forward integration, we've expanded our horizon, we've expanded our scope of work, we've expanded our the market size that we can address, and that of course will come with its own fair share of competition.
Got it. And again, on a specific question on execution, I mean, as you say, there are always delays on execution, maybe not because of from your side, but I mean, if I look at your specific projects, especially the Arun and the Kundna, which were supposed to, let's say, in 2-3 years back, but still, I haven't seen much execution, especially the Arun projects of Nepal. So I just wanted to understand why is there a delay in execution there, and what has changed now that you are confident that the recent project which you have got in Jammu would see probably a timeline, probably would be executed within 3 years. I mean, what's the risk that the things are not repeated again?
I will not say that. See, one of the reasons is that the focus of government has changed. There earlier, nothing used to matter if the project of 3 years is getting completed in 10 years also. Now the focus of the government has changed because of border reasons, because of focus by the central government. Now the central government wants that we should tap the water resources. You may have read about Indus Water Treaty. Now the government of India is very focused on tapping the water resources that are available to India compared to our neighboring countries. So therefore the focus by the central government has increased tremendously, where they want to implement these projects as early as possible. But nevertheless, there are still delays that happen. So earlier, if the 3-year or 4-year project used to get completed in 10 years, now it may not still happen in 3 years, 4 years, but it will happen in 4 years, 5 years, not 10 years.
Got it. And any idea on the Arun project? I mean, this quarter it did not have any execution, and past few quarters. So what is the issue there, and when we can see those execution from Arun coming in?
Hydromechanical is kind of like this only. What happens in hydromechanical is we are equipment suppliers and installations happens in hydromechanical. So the quarter in which we will do excessive supply of equipment will have significant revenue from that project. But the next quarter we may not have any supply to that project. So there'll be no revenues. Now the next batch of revenue will start only when the installation starts. And installation also, because the project is so spread out, there are 10 different, 20 different types of gates in every project. So, in one quarter we will do installation of one type of gate, and then next quarter we may not do any installation activity at all at that project. So, therefore, the revenues are never steady in hydromechanical business. It's not like Jal Jeevan Mission, it's not like irrigation project. Hydromechanical is like this. It's the salient nature of the project.
Got it. And one more question was on the tendering side. So, how much time does a project takes to, let's say, come to the tendering stage from, let's say, when projects are concurred by CA once and there is one type of projects, and how much time does projects which are under, let's say, SI, survey and investigation stage how much time does they take to come to the tendering stage?
It can take anywhere between 2 to 3 years. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 years by the time it comes for tendering, because there are a lot of clearances that are required. CCA clearance, CID clearance, MOEF clearance, financial closure. All those things, by the time they happen, it takes almost 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
By the time it comes up for tendering.
Okay.
Earlier, it used to be that, they used to float tenders even before all these clearances were happening, and therefore the projects used to take a long time to complete. Now, the government finalizes these tenders only once all these clearances have taken place.
Okay, great. And what are our plans on monetizing our, other land assets, approximately about 50,000 square meters, which we have in Kota, Jaipur. So are we planning to develop a project there, or what are our plans? Are we planning to sell it or something?
No, we have completed the real estate projects already. Now it's only the time it takes to sell it. We are making extra efforts. We have appointed an agency to help us in marketing and advertising and marketing. So I think the result of that will be seen in the next 2 financial years, where we'll see the entire inventory getting sold off.
Achha, okay, so that the land bank, other land bank also, which we have, on those only we have built the real estate project. I thought separate from the real estate project.
In Jaipur and Kota we have built already.
Yeah, because we have two lands in Jaipur, right, if I'm not wrong.
No, we have only one.
Achha, okay, got it, no problem.
Which has already been completed.
Okay, no problem. That's all from my side. I will join back in the queue. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Akshita Janan, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, team. I have one question, like what would be our guidance for the second half and, for the entire year with pipeline?
Guidance has already been explained in our presentation. Outlook is positive. I mean, may not be as significant growth as we've done in FY 23-24, but certainly it is better than what we had anticipated. We had anticipated a big washout because of elections and prolonged monsoon and prolonged heat wave, but certainly now it's picked up again, and the next 2 quarters will see a better number.
Hello?
Yeah, you heard me?
No, we lost you in between. Can you come again?
No, the guidance is positive for the next 2 quarters. We had expected it to be a washout year, but fortunately now the run rate that we are getting from these 2 projects, I think it will be a good jump from the last 2 quarters.
Got it, sir. Got it. And any marquee project?
On a year-on-year basis, we may still not be able to meet the last year's growth numbers, but we'll still have a good, decent revenue.
Got it. And any marquee projects which we could see, where we would be bidding, or we would be something like of any guidance on that side?
I would highly welcome you to visit. If you're close to Jaipur, then we have a project called Isarda Dam, which is 2 hours from Jaipur city. If you are close to north, then near Amritsar to us, from Amritsar, we are doing a significantly large project of 300 megawatts where we are doing the complete turnkey project, which is including civil, hydromechanical, everything, canal. So it's a very gigantic project, which we would love to welcome you to show you that project.
Sure, sir. I'll get in touch with your team for the same. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, we would like to remind participants that they may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Anushka Roy from Trade Brains. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. So I just, like the previous participant asked, I also wanted to ask a similar question that are we going to see any project completion in the next half of the year or say FY26 or 27, which can, add some kind of lead or revenue inflows for the company?
Sorry, I missed your question. Can you quickly repeat it?
Yeah. So I was asking that are we going to see any, so we have multiple ongoing projects. So are we going to see the completion of any of these ongoing projects in the next half of the year or FY26?
Yeah. I would say not in this financial year. Certainly in the next financial year, we'll see completion of Isarda. We'll see completion of Shapurkandi. We will see nearing completion. I would say 95% of the revenue would be recognized from Isarda, Shapurkandi, UP, Jal Jeevan Mission, and also Rajasthan. So not in this financial year, but in the next financial year, we'll see a lot of completion of projects. FY25,
okay, and
26.
All right. Okay, and if you could give an estimate of what kind of revenue inflows and margins are you expecting from those?
All are double-digit margins, anywhere ranging between 8 to 12% of the revenue. So all of these projects are ranging in that range, and those margins are secured even till date.
Okay. I have one more question. So I read in the presentation that the company is planning to monetize its real estate sector in the coming quarters. So I just wanted to understand, are there any expansion plans in the pipeline?
No expansion plans in real estate. No, that is not our core business. We are very clear. We want to focus on our core business.
Hello, Anushka, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shahil Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead. Hello, Mr. Sahil, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead with your question.
Maybe he's not there. You can take next.
Yes, sir. The next question is from the line of Jitesh, an individual investor. Please go ahead. Mr. Jitesh, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead with your question. As there's no response, we'll move on to the next question. It's from the line of Tej from Niveshaay. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity again. So since I just use it 2 to 3 years, probably would take those tenders to come out for it on the tendering stage, right? So just wanted to get an idea on, is it, if I look at data, is it correct to assume that probably about 6 to 7 gigawatts of PSP tenders would come out in, let's say, in the next 3 to 4 years, and about 6 gigawatts of tender in hydro projects?
Yeah, safely. I mean, there will be, the hydro projects are very bulky in the sense that in 1 year there may be 4 or 5 projects, and the next year there may not be. So it is safe to assume at least 5,000 to 10,000, 5,000 to 10,000 megawatts will be implemented at least in the next 2 or 3 years.
This is for both, right? PSPs and hydro.
I'm talking about 10,000 of hydro and 10,000 of PSPs.
So you're talking about 20 okay, so you're talking about 20 gigawatts in the next 5 to 6 years. The tenders would come out.
No, not 5 to 6 years. Next 2 to 3 years.
Oh, so you're talking about 20 gigawatts of tender coming out in next 2 years only?
3 years. 3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
Okay. Great. I just wanted to
So
understand
what happens, let me also explain you further. Now let's say NHPC, for example, has signed up MOUs for 10,000 megawatts. They will not take all the 10,000 megawatts at one go. They will take 2,000 megawatts first, then they'll take another 2,000 megawatts, then they'll take another 2,000 megawatts. Same way with private sector also.
Okay. Got it. And one more question was on the scope of work. I mean, if I see you are trying, I mean, essentially you are doing EPC, installing the gates, right? So are we supplying gates to other EPC player, or is it in the requirement that the player who is doing the, let's say, the installation work of the hydromechanical work should have the capability to manufacture the equipment also?
See, sometimes the tenders are invited on EPC basis, where it includes civil and hydromechanical both. So in that case, we tie up with a civil company, and if that civil company wins the job, then we supply to the civil company. But the entire scope is done practically on a back-to-back basis, where we are responsible for doing the entire design up to erection, installation of hydromechanical equipment. So we are contracted by that civil company, but it is practically a direct contract from the
Okay, so you are saying the tenders are probably a complete whole package, but the civil companies, let's say HCC or Patel Engineering, would probably make a tie-up with you or subcontract you for installation and the erection of the gates, right?
Yes. For design, manufacturing, installation, everything. We do everything in-house.
Got it. But the installation of the gates on the site is not done by you, right? It is
done by us. Everything is done by us. Design, manufacturing also is being done by us in-house. So design, manufacturing, installation, everything is done by us in-house, but for the civil company, for the client, through the civil company. Civil company doesn't do anything.
Got it. Okay. And so we were thinking of about 300 crores of let's say still cash collection is left for the two of our projects, right? So is it on the timeline? I mean, how much do we expect in, let's say, this remaining financial year, and how much do we expect it to be, let's say, get in the other, I mean, the FY26?
Jain sir, will you answer that?
Please come again with the question.
Yeah, I'm asking, I mean, what are the timelines of the cash collections are we expecting? I mean, how's the booking status, and by what time do we expect the projects to close there?
The real estate project?
Yes.
Yes, there are two projects going on right now. One is Palacia in Jaipur and one is Om Green Meadows in Kota. Both the projects are complete, and the unsold inventory is lying on with us, which we are selling slowly in both the cities.
No, I mean about... Yeah. No, sorry, you continue, sorry.
We are hopeful that in both the projects we will completely exit by next 2 years.
Kota has about whole 300 crores we are expecting in the next 2 years only, right?
Yeah, some bigger unit might remain unsold. There are some bigger units like 10,000 square feet that may remain unsold, but rest of the units will be sold completely in the next 2 years.
Got it. And sir, one more question to you only on the accounting side of the real estate. If I'm not wrong, we book majority of our revenue. I mean, we book our revenues when we sell those units. I mean, when we have a sell deal, right? And then expenses are capitalized in the inventory. So expenses also recognized when we sell freight, right? Only those administrative expenses which are probably not capitalized are booked quarter on quarter, right? Is it the correct understanding?
Correct.
Okay, got it. And just one more question. I mean, probably now you said about 8 to 12% has the range for EBITDA margin. In the last call you were saying upwards of 11%. So I just wanted to settle, where can we settle on? Probably can we achieve double-digit margins from here, or probably with these new projects coming in, or how much time would it take us to, probably let's say clock double-digit margin?
One thing I would like to explain very clearly, that all our projects, if you take independent basis, it's all double-digit margin projects, 12% or 15%. But when we go on quarter to quarter, there may be some mismatch, because some revenue which are highly profitable, we booked in this quarter, some revenue which are less profitable may be booked in next quarter. The mismatch can happen quarter to quarter, but overall one project is definitely worth 12 to 15% EBITDA margin. But every project has different kind of payment mechanism. So, and we suppose in one project there is a margin of 20%, but we are not able to clock the revenue for this quarter. Then we take this money spent in the project as a work in progress or UBR, unbilled revenue, where we don't book the profit. This can happen on quarter to quarter, but overall every budget is 12 to 15% margin profit.
Got it. And sir, are we experiencing any receivable issues because of this delayed budgetary decision? Especially in water, we have seen that there has been, a slowdown of funds coming from the departments. So are we facing those issues on our side? I mean, of course, I have seen, the receivables haven't increased much, but are we seeing any delayed payments kind of issue?
It was in Rajasthan, definitely, because of elections, the new government and the new CM. But this is slowly improving. In Rajasthan, we have funds stuck up because for March and March election. But these are coming up slowly. So that will improve by March or June, by June 25.
Got it. And what are, going forward, looking at, again, hydro power projects and PSPs coming back into the opportunity, are we planning to bid for more projects into, let's say, towards, let's say, sewage or, into Jal Jeevan? Are we planning to go more towards water? What are your thoughts on it? Are we just sticking to the hydro power prospects?
We are open definitely for all the water related and sewage projects, and that's why we have made in the presentation that the opportunity is huge. Earlier, before 3 years, we were doing only hydromechanical components or a civil construction of them, like in Rajasthan we did the Kaleshwan project. But now the foray is open in many sectors: Jal Jeevan, pipeline, water pipeline, irrigation pipeline, water treatment plant, powerhouse construction, dam construction, the river linking project, PSC project. So opportunity is huge, and we are going to encash it slowly. If the margin is good, we will definitely bid for the bigger projects.
And sir, how much would be our bid pipeline right now? Have we bidded for any projects?
Today, as on today, our bid pipeline is worth 2,000 crore rupees. 1,000 crore in UP and 1,000 crore separately. 2,000 crore we have already bidded, and many more we are going to bid in next two months.
That is for all hydro, or is there some Jal Jeevan Mission component, or let's say Amrut, or
combined?
It's combined. Okay. And sir, what would be our bank guarantee limits, and how much have we utilized?
Right now we have a bank guarantee limit of 632 crores. Out of this, 280 crores is utilized.
Okay. And what about the Mahada project? Has the stall started? Rehabilitation started, and what's the status there?
Vikash, please answer this.
This thing has started. The construction of rehab tenements has been going on and will get completed, I think, in the next 6 months. Once the rehab tenements are completed, then shifting will start, and once the shifting happens, only then will this project see the light of the day. So as of now, the timelines are not predictable, but certainly there is some progress happening on a regular basis.
Got it. Okay, sir. And just last question, I just wanted to get your thoughts on, you said 20 gigawatts of tender would probably come in the next 2 to 3 years. What are we targeting? What are the tenders, worth of tenders?
We will target everything, but what comes our way is completely unpredictable. We are, as I said, hoping to get anywhere between 500 to 1,000 crore in this financial year, of which 400 crore we've already got. I'm expecting another few hundred crores of additional order book addition will happen within this financial year.
Okay, sir, got it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sahil Shah, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, please, ma'am, go ahead. Hello, Sahil Shah, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead. As there's no response, we'll move on to the next question. It's on the line of JP Munda, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
हेलो, हाँ मुंगा जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार। एक तो 3-4 क्वेश्चन है। तो एक तो बांद्रा का प्रोग्रेस अभी विकास जी कुछ बता ही रहे थे कि शिफ्टिंग हो रहा है, तो ये कब मोटा मोटी मेरे को जवाब मिल गया। अभी शिफ्टिंग नहीं सॉरी कंस्ट्रक्शन चालू है वहाँ पर।
नहीं हो रहा है कंस्ट्रक्शन, ट्रांजिट कैंप का कंस्ट्रक्शन चालू है।
हाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन चालू है, शिफ्टिंग उसके बाद में होगी। तो ये कंस्ट्रक्शन क्या अपने नवंबर दिसंबर में पूरा कंप्लीट करके और शिफ्टिंग चालू हो जाएगी क्या? ऐसे
मार्च तक कंस्ट्रक्शन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा।
अच्छा,
मार्च के बाद फिर शिफ्टिंग चालू होगी, तो होपफुली 6 महीने में शिफ्टिंग भी हो जानी चाहिए। अब शिफ्टिंग में एक्चुअल अलग चैलेंज आता है, तो वो कब होगा कुछ प्रेडिक्टेबल नहीं है।
अच्छा नहीं मतलब अपने कुछ तो यूनिट बनी गई होगी उसमें, अपने ऐसे ये नहीं कि आधे चालू करके आधा का काम चालू किया जाए वैसे नहीं है क्या? जैसे 10
अब ये सब चीजें एक्चुअली वो
पार्ट हो गए,
जो हमारा पार्टनर है वही डिसाइड करेगा कि आधा मतलब वो जब जो यूनिट्स कंप्लीट हो जाएंगी उसमें धीरे धीरे शुरू करेगा या एक साथ ही सारा करेगा। आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से तो एक साथ ही करेगा शायद।
अच्छा एक साथ वाला काम सब मार्च 2025 में हो जाएगा?
नहीं, हाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम कंप्लीट हो जाएगा।
हाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम हो जाएगा।
हाँ
उसके बाद ही अपना जो भी कोई नेगोशिएशन है और जॉइंट वेंचर का किसी के साथ में वो आगे बढ़ पाएगा। अभी खाली अपने यही काम में लगे हुए हैं।
हाँ
कंस्ट्रक्शन वाले काम में, रेट और शिफ्टिंग के काम में लगे हुए हैं। फिर बाद में अपने कोई आगे जा करके डेवलपर को पकड़ा जाएगा। तो ये साल में मतलब मोटा मोटी अपना यही समझे कि खाली कंस्ट्रक्शन है। दूसरा पहले से अगर था कि ये अभी मैं तो उसमें कोई रेवेन्यू टॉप लाइन बढ़ रही है, टॉप लाइन में कोई कंट्रीब्यूशन है ना बॉटम लाइन में अपने बैलेंस शीट में। तो ये क्या इस साल भी कुछ नहीं होगा कि आप नेक्स्ट 2 इयर्स बता रहे हैं, तो 2025 एंडिंग में कुछ नहीं आएगा पहले जैसे अपने बुक्स के अंदर में टॉप लाइन बॉटम लाइन में?
25 एंडिंग में आएगा, 25 एंडिंग में आएगा। अभी हमने एफर्ट चालू किए हैं, एडवर्टाइजिंग मार्केटिंग एजेंसी को हायर किया है, तो 25 में भी आएगा रेवेन्यू। कितना आएगा ये प्रेडिक्टेबल नहीं है, बट आएगा।
अच्छा, धनतेरस से मुंद्रा जी हमने 20 करोड़ रुपए के फ्लैट की रजिस्ट्री करी है। अक्टूबर का ही है।
सिंगल फ्लैट है क्या?
नहीं, जो पुराने फ्लैट बिके हुए थे उनकी रजिस्ट्री हुई है।
अच्छा, पुराने फ्लैट की थी।
हाँ, 20 करोड़ रेवेन्यू तो अक्टूबर में आ ही गया। और 30-40 करोड़ का और आ जाएगा मार्च तक, तो 60-70 करोड़ तो हो जाएगा नया, और 20 करोड़ पुराना। 80 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू आना चाहिए मार्च 25 तक कलेशिया से।
तो 80 करोड़ में अपना क्या समझे नीचे का एमपी
8 करोड़ 7-8 करोड़
7-8 करोड़ का कंट्रीब्यूशन टोटल में होगा। हाँ तो ऐसे ठीक है। अभी इतना रुपया आप वापस पुराना जो सोल्ड आउट यूनिट का जैसे तैसे करके अपने पास आया, तो ये काम कम। तो ऐसे जो पुराने सोल्ड आउट है जो लो रेट के है उसका पैसा अपने को, क्योंकि अब तो मेरे हिसाब से रेट है वो 30-40% बढ़ गई होगी बुकिंग अमाउंट आज से 5 साल पहले किए थे। वहाँ 7-8-9-10 हज़ार में होता, अभी 15-17 हज़ार होना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से। तो उनको
12,000 रुपये में सेफ साइड लेके चलते हैं हम लोग। 12-13 में अच्छी बुकिंग हो सकती है। पर अभी जो यूनिट बचे हुए हैं वो तो बड़े बचे हुए हैं, तो बड़े यूनिट के लिए डिमांड नहीं है जो छोटे यूनिट के लिए होती थी, पर फिर भी डिमांड है, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं है।
बड़ी यूनिट मतलब कितना 4-5 हज़ार स्क्वायर फीट?
हाँ।
अच्छा। और ये छोटे वाले 2200-2500 वाले सब बिक गए?
सब खत्म हो गए।
अच्छा, अब खाली बड़े बड़े डुप्लेक्स टाइप के और इस टाइप के या सिंगल यूनिट? हाँ तो उसके तो फिर कोई ठीक है, आप लगे हुए हैं। तीसरा है कि जो 2 आर्बिट्रेशन चल रहे हैं उनकी क्या प्रोग्रेस रही?
उसका कोई प्रेडिक्शन नहीं है मुंद्रा साहब, वो 2 साल 3 साल कुछ भी लग सकता है, क्योंकि कोर्ट के मैटर्स हैं। कोर्ट के मैटर में कोई प्रेडिक्शन काम नहीं आता।
नहीं भाई, छोटा वाला जो 50-55 करोड़ का, तो मोटा मोटी मेरे को लगता था कि ऐसे
नहीं, वो भी पेंडिंग ही है, कोर्ट में ही पेंडिंग है वो भी।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में पेंडिंग है वो।
हाँ,
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में पेंडिंग है।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक तो जा ही चुका है वो।
हाँ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक जा चुका है।
तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट तो फुल एंड फाइनल डिसीजन मेकर है।
कभी इमीडिएटली भी हो जाए, कभी टाइम भी लग जाए।
हाँ, ठीक है। जैसे मान लीजिए भीलवाड़ा जयपुर तो अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक कोई ऐसे सोच रहे हैं कि अगर अगला कोई सुप्रीम कोर्ट से जाए तो दैट में टेक टाइम, लेकिन ये जो छोटा वाला 50-52 करोड़ का तो मेरे हिसाब से
ये जा सकता है। करेक्ट।
मैं एक सजेशन दे रहा था कि अपने पावर सेक्टर में है तो अपने कुछ डाइवर्सिफिकेशन क्यों नहीं करें। जैसे अभी ये सोलर एनर्जी का और का पैनल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का, जैसे ये वारी एनर्जी एक अभी कंपनी IPO आया था, ये पैनल में आपको सभी आप जानते हैं, आप लोगों से कोई बोलना नहीं।
पैनल बहुत कॉम्पिटिटिव लाइन है मुदरा साहब। हम लोग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में पैनल में नहीं जाना चाहते, हम लोग सोलर EPC में जरूर जा सकते हैं, उसमें भी हम लोग एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं सोलर EPC को। बट अदरवाइज
सोलर EPC का मतलब
बहुत सोलर का EPC करना, हमारे जैसे स्कोप जो अभी हमारे
इंस्टॉलेशन
सोलर का, हाँ उसमें भी हम लोग करते हैं सोलर। हमारे करंट प्रोजेक्ट से भी काफी सोलर प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, मतलब काफी सोलर का काम है।
फिर अपने कुछ लिए हैं क्या आपने?
नहीं अभी नहीं लिए, बट बिडिंग पाइपलाइन में है।
मतलब फैक्ट्री के रूप में और में ये सब में पैनल?
नहीं कोई फैक्ट्री हम लोग नहीं लगाएंगे, वो हमारा कोर बिजनेस नहीं है। बहुत फैक्ट्रियां लग गई हैं ऑलरेडी।
नहीं अपना जो काम EPC का करना चाहते हैं वो कहाँ, फैक्ट्री या रूफ टॉप पर घर के या क्या?
नहीं प्लांट्स में जो हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं ना, उसमें कई प्रोजेक्ट्स में जैसे जल जीवन मिशन में सोलर प्लांट लगाने का भी स्कोप रहता है।
अच्छा। वो इलेक्ट्रिक की जगह सोलर से पावर वो ले लेंगे?
सोलर से, हाँ सोलर से पावर लेते हैं, तो वो काम हम लोग ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा, तो उसके अलावा दूसरी लाइन में जैसे फैक्ट्रियों के वो तो छोटा ही होगा। आप जो अपना जो प्रोजेक्ट का जो काम उसमें तो ज्यादा सोलर वाला होता नहीं होगा। लेकिन
अभी हमारी लाइन में इतना स्कोप है एनर्जी की, अब कहीं दूसरे डाइवर्सिफिकेशन देखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। बहुत स्कोप है अभी हमारी लाइन में।
ये अपने जो प्रोजेक्ट
तो शुरुआत हुई है।
अच्छा, उसमें भी बहुत बड़ा स्कोप है प्रोजेक्ट वालों में?
बहुत बड़ा स्कोप है, बहुत बड़ा स्कोप है।
अच्छा,
हमारी लाइन में भी बहुत बड़ा स्कोप है, अभी तो शुरुआत ही हुई है हमारे स्कोप की।
हाँ तो इसको देख के मेरे को लगता है ये बहुत आगे फ्यूचर है इसका। तो सोलर वाला खैर आप देख ही रहे हैं, और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में आप बोलते हैं कंपटीशन हमारी ये था तो सक रहा है बहुत जबरदस्त। आज शेयर के भाव 3200, 3500, 3700 हो गए 10 दिन में। 1700 का इश्यू था, 1705 रुपये का। तो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी तो जबरदस्त है, और भी बना ही रही है कंपनी। तो ये तो एक है। और आपके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग आज हाइड्रोमैकेनिकल आप बनाते हैं, इक्विपमेंट बनाना जानते हैं, आपके प्लांट है, फैक्ट्री है, जगह है, तो उसमें देखिए आप लोग तो सोचते होंगे, इसको एक्सप्लोर कीजिए। देखिए अगर ये हो जाता है तो ये बहुत बड़ा मेरे हिसाब से प्रॉफिटेबल काम होगा। या जॉइंट वेंचर कहीं से फॉरेन से करनी, क्या है आपने एक ही एक चीज में बैठे हुए हैं, दूसरा डाइवर्सिफाई करें ना तो करिए। बोले आप अपना पावर में चाहे विंड एनर्जी कीजिए, चाहे सोलर कीजिए, चाहे ये
जरूर मुंद्रा जी आपका सजेशन।
नहीं, क्योंकि थोड़ा सा मेरे को लगता है ये हाइड्रो से थोड़ा हट करके आगे जाए, क्योंकि और भी दूसरा बहुत बड़ा गवर्नमेंट का फोकस है दूसरी एनर्जी सेक्टर में भी। हाइड्रो में तो है ही है, सोलर और विंड में भी बहुत बड़ा कुछ लोन देके और देके सब करेगा। तो मेरा ये कहने का है।
मुंद्रा जी 25-50 मेगावाट का सोलर पार्क हम लोग एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं राजस्थान में, यूपी में।
हाँ
25-50 मेगावाट लैंड लीज पे लेकर के।
मेगावाट?
हाँ
25 मेगावाट का? अच्छा
हाँ, ये गवर्नमेंट के प्रोजेक्ट है, गवर्नमेंट का स्कीम है कुसुम प्रोजेक्ट बोल करके, उसमें हम लोग बिल्ड करना चाह रहे हैं ताकि हम लोग 25-50 मेगावाट के सोलर पार्क बना सकें। इसमें क्या होगा कि लैंड लीज पे ले लेंगे फार्मर से और अपना खुद का पार्क लगाएंगे ताकि डिप्रिसिएशन बेनिफिट मिल जाए और रेगुलर इनकम आ जाए।
अपने मतलब उसमें पैनल भी बनाएंगे?
नहीं हम लोग
इंस्टॉलेशन ही करेंगे।
हाँ हम लोग खरीदेंगे पैनल, सोलर पार्क बनाएंगे खुद।
अच्छा, ये क्या ऐसे पार्क में लगाएंगे या लोगों के घरों में जाके लगाएंगे?
नहीं सोलर पार्क फार्म फील्ड पे, फार्मर्स की लैंड के ऊपर।
हाँ अच्छा फार्म के ऊपर सोलर लगा।
बंदे जमीनें होती है ना,
और में वो पैनल पड़े रहते हैं, देखते हैं पूरा बहुत जबरदस्त दिखता है। ठीक बात। हाँ तो उसको देखिए, उसको कीजिए थोड़ा सा तो ठीक है। चलिए एक बार मेरा तो हो गया, आगे नेक्स्ट को दीजिए। धन्यवाद बहुत बहुत।
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. As there are no further questions from the participants, I would like to hand the conference over to the management for their closing comments.
Thank you very much for everyone for your kind participation and spending time with us on our investor call. We truly appreciate your feedback. आपके suggestions बहुत valuable है हमारे लिए. I assure you that the company is on the right path for phenomenal growth in the future. Since the features of our industry are very sluggish and very skewed and not constant, and therefore quarter on quarter results should not be looked at. But I can assure you the future is extremely bright and very positive going forward. Feel free to reach out to me for any further questions. I'm always available on email through the IR company. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of Go India Advisors, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.